What's going on, everyone? It's a new day here. I'm not sure how this is all gonna pan out. We've got Doug's in here, and guess what? Bam! Now we've got Brian's. Welcome to another car at the garage here. All right, this is a 97-ish up GSR Integra, unknown build. We kind of have a build sheet on it. It looks like it's got some goodies. Brian's having a wiring issue, driving issue, not really sure. Car's just spitting, sputtering. My battery's about to die, so I'm talking really fast. But we're going to dive into this one and really see what we can get going on with it. I need to do a leak down, compression, all the good tests on it, and see what we can find out. Take you guys along on the journey. I'm not sure if this is going to be a new video or if we're going to tie it into Doug's. So hope you guys enjoy either way. Let's dive into this thing and see what we can find out with it. Ooh, all right, y'all. We're on the on Devin's good old 10 here, so we're gonna play around with it a little bit. We got the garage cleaned up some, and now we're gonna dive into Brian's Integra. First things first, this thing's cold. It's been sitting in here for a day now, so no heat in it. We're gonna pull all these spark plugs out, hook the compression tester up, do a compression test on it first. Just looking at this thing, like right off the bat, you can see a few different little things. I mean, there's an oil leak coming right from the head gasket. You can see that pretty clear here. So that's one sign that we may have some issues going on with this thing. We've got what looks like maybe some fuel or grime back here on a couple injector clips. I don't know if that's just something there or if that's actually an issue we need to be looking at. So we've got that also. Just little things here looking at it. When it came in last night, I guess it was super low on coolant, so that's something to think about as well. So what we're going to do with that is actually hook the coolant filler up, and if this thing's not holding pressure, it looks like we've got a coolant leak. Just little things here. So we're going to dive into this thing and really see what we've got going on with it. Like I said, the compression test is going to tell us a lot, and then a leak down will actually tell us even more. Compression's just to tell us if we're holding compression in the cylinder itself of the engine. The leak down is going to tell us if it's getting past anything in the head. Valves, valve seals, seats, things of that nature. So head will tell us in the leak down, and then compression for the bottom end. Anyways, let's dive into that, throw you guys into a time lapse, and see how it goes. Nope. Alright, y'all, so can't make this stuff up at all. Here, let me put these all back on.
He needs like a half-width one. No, I don't have one.
Alright, so we put all those back in like that. And these guys aren't even snapping on to nothing. Not snapping, I tell you. So it's having a breakup issue. That could be part of it. So what I'm going to measure here now is from top of spark plug, like so, to top 3 inches. Alright, so we need 3 inches. So from spark arrestor here, we'll say is about there.
Too big.
Yeah, way too short. We need more length on that. So if we take this guy, I don't even know. Do you got a pair of needle nose?
Yeah.
Which one's that one?
Sorry.
Ooh. So if you run like if you switch to a GSR head on your B20, you gotta do the same thing. Okay, so that's snapped in, guys. I can't just pull it off. So this one, we push it in and just pull it off. This one, it's on there. So we're gonna go get it back on. And then you push your boot down. and then you hold both, pull it out, and if you look, I don't know if you guys will be able to see how this one is further up than this one. It's actually closer in the boot, closer to us.
You can't really see it yet.
Can't really see, but we've got a good, it's probably a good ½ inch further up the boot now. So this one, if I was to hold it,
oh yeah,
it snaps on. There we go. So definitely a difference. That's something we will try to work. What we might have to do is cut these boots so they won't actually seal around the ring, so we will have to watch for water, but it'll allow me to get this all the way down in there, or we just need to get the correct spark plug wires.
yeah.
That'd be the easier thing to do, but
Yeah.
that one is still snapping good.
Oh, that's a huge difference.
Huge difference, huh? So this one, I mean, no matter how hard I push it down,
Barely. Oh, yeah.
yep, just the suction of that one holds it, where that one's the actual class.
Yeah.
Yep, the actual snap of it. So, but we're not worried about that right now. I just noticed that while I was trying to take those out. We're gonna pull plugs, do a compression test, and then come back to those wires there. But that's kind of a rundown. If your spark is being funny, try to pull that, get needle nose down in there and pull those out, and then just stick them on there, and then you'll know for sure that it's connected and move forward. I'm following. It don't got no key. We were all right. So it's in neutral?
It's in neutral.
All right, try to crank this thing. Okay.
What do you got?
We got 230
Okay.
on looking like number 1. Give or take 230. Right in that range. So that one was fuel?
So no, this is master. So master on, master off. Well, for cutoff, then he's got this is master on, right? Then he's got fan fuel ignition. I'm just trying to figure out.
What's all what?
Yes.
It's race
It's
car.
funny when you reset this, even if the fuel's in the down position, it turns the fuel pump back.
Turns the fuel pump. Okay, that's what I was asking. So like the main relay, no matter what, clicks the fuel pump.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if I toggle the switch, I can turn it off.
Just can turn it off.
How many turnovers you want? 6?
I'll tell you when to stop, basically. That one was perfect. Like, it had just stopped when you hit it. Yep. Okay. 230.
And also ignition turns on fuel, so.
And that's what that little baby pop's gonna be, just popping fuel.
Yeah, because even with it off, it turns it back on and hit ignition. Overall, this thing's pretty damn nice, but.
Oh, it's really nice.
Hello. It's a board game I bought 2.5 years ago.
All right, we're ready when you're ready.
You ready?
Yep. Okay.
That sounds way different.
240. So we gained on that one.
Okay.
Not a huge gain, but a little gain. They're all close.
But yeah, number 3 is the one that had the wet injector, right?
Number 3 looked good. Number 1 and 2 looked a little
Okay.
burnt on the plug. I'll show the plugs to you guys here in just a minute.
Sorry, small case.
Yes.
All right.
Ready?
Yep. Okay. 240.
So we're
we're up 10 on the last two, which are two better looking plugs, and we're down 10 on the two worst looking plugs. So it all kind of could make sense. All right, y'all, so to be within 10 on your compression, that's definitely a good thing. I mean, it's better than having 30 and 140, but it'd be better if we had all 130 or all 140. The 8th gen, you know, it was all solid across the board if you guys watched that video. And if you look at these plugs, kind of how we have them laid out, these two, little burnt looking, and that's on cylinder 1 and 2. And then this one's nice and white, strap looks okay, and then this one's nice and white. So these two look like they're burning pretty decent. Definitely better than these two. So now we're gonna dive into a leak down test on this thing, see what we can see with it cold. We're gonna do everything cold, then I'm gonna fire this thing up, I'm gonna go drive it, run it, see what I can find there, bring it back, do a compression test hot. See if we have a huge difference in our leak down or even our compression test with it hot. That would mean rings are set or valve seals might be leaking, or...
Before you drive it, we should check coolant, or we should fill coolant since I guarantee it's empty.
We'll definitely do coolant. Yeah. He just made a good point. Put the tester on the coolant before we drive it, just to make sure that it is all kosher. I mean, that hose is kind of flat, so that would be a sign of air. Yeah. So we've got a little things to check out here, and then we're gonna dive back into it. So time lapse, leak down test, and then move on. Okay. We don't have no tack signal. Yeah, we have no tack.
I don't know if that's...
No signal to the dizzy right now.
Plus, I don't know if that's normal or not, though.
So what else is on the car that we're not?
There's this thing hanging out.
That's VTEC.
Do we flood it, maybe?
We have no tack, so the dizzy ain't doing nothing. When you crank it, the tack will go up, like trying to do RPM signal. This one ain't got no RPM signal.
Gotcha.
Alright, y'all, so we're going to play around with this a little bit. This is one of those, like, I could film everything, but then you guys are going to be in this crazy long time lapse, or you're going to see a whole bunch of BS of us running around like chickens with our heads cut off trying to find things. It literally ran in here last night. The dude drove it. But that doesn't mean anything. I'm not getting a tack signal, so we could have a issue there. There's plugs undone everywhere on this car. I mean, everywhere you look around, there's just another plug hanging out. So, just because it ran yesterday doesn't mean it's gonna run today. Lots of little things here, folks. And we're just gonna, like I said, play around with some things. Make sure we're getting fuel, make sure we're getting spark, just make sure we're getting everything. Make sure we're getting ECU, power, all the good stuff.
Try again.
We're gonna try it again. So let's actually see real quick. What fuse did you rob?
4/stop. That shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter.
No.
Who knows what this guy's wearing?
Nope. Yeah, it's just get weaker too.
Who knows? I don't know if I want to build race cars, y'all.
Yeah. I should.
Come on, let me try. Watch yourselves.
Yep.
So we'll be back with you guys here after a short message. All right, y'all, so we have no spark. I just confirmed that by putting an old spark plug in there that I know is good. Came out of the 8th gen. Setting it here, setting it here. You know, and it's one of those when people say their cars are good and then all of a sudden bolts are just loose. So we're just gonna throw that one there because it came out of here. But now I'm going to get this out of our way and pull the distributor. What could have happened is the bolt came loose on the rotor in there and it's just flopping around, not giving us any spark. That's kind of what I suspect has happened. Oh, look at, he's actually even got a brace on that thing. Imagine that. Have yourself a piece of light carbon fiber. Gift from me to you, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, man. I just put that one on the old turbo 8th gen.
Yeah. She fancy.
She get all there. This throttle body's pretty clean. And if the rotor hasn't fallen off, well, we might need, can't do anything until we get a distributor at that point. We can do some electrical testing on the starter. Or on the distributor, excuse me. Man, talk about a leaky old girl. Nope, it's still on there. So it's not as I suspected.
Those are dirty.
Those are super dirty. Them are gnarly gross. This whole distributor's seen better days. So now I'm just gonna tap this thing over, get that cap off of there, pull that cover, and then just kind of dive into this distributor, see if I can't get it to work. And then I'll catch you guys back here in a minute. All right, y'all, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. That looks like an old bus fuse used to block off a vacuum line. I've seen it all now, I'm telling you. I thought it was, I don't know what I thought it was, and then it just happened to be a fuse. So we're actually gonna put a nipple on there.
Oh no.
Oh.
You got a better angle.
Oh, maybe even, oh yeah, that one will do. There we go.
There it is.
See how much easier that was? Look at that. This guy was just hanging out up here like, hey, look at me. Alright, so now I've got the distributor back together. I think this thing's got a bad coil just by kind of looking at things on this distributor. But we're going to go ahead and try to crank it over some more. I think now I'm actually going to take and pull all the centers of the spark plugs down and get them actually on the spark plugs on the car and see if I can't get them to crack, pop, bang, do something, because it's not even trying to fire. It's just not doing nothing.
They all stop at your house.
So let's see here. Ooh, car parts. Anyways, we're gonna see if we can get this thing firing and then go from there. We'll see. All right, y'all, so we just ran up and got us a new ignition coil. I am almost certain that's our issue with this thing. We are getting no spark at all. So like I said, it drove in last night. All the wiring looks the same. So we're gonna pop the coil out, put a new ignition coil in, make sure all the fuses are good, and then go from there. So hopefully that's our issue, and hopefully we see you guys with this thing running. All right, y'all, so the one lucky fuse I pulled from under the dash was actually for the fans. So now if I hit the toggle switch, we got fans. But better yet, if I hit the ignition switch, watch this. I ain't no master mechanic, but I'm pretty sure the coil was bad. So we put a O'Reilly special coil in this thing.
Is your little one?
Here's the old one here. That's just a sign. Like if you see that in your distributor, don't try to just be like, oh, it's something else. I promise it's the coil. I promise. If it looks like that, just replace it. It's the easiest thing to do. Cost you like 50, 60 bucks. Slap a new one in there. Use that clutch and color discount and you might be able to get yourself a little bit better deal. But anyways, go down to Riley's, get one if your car's not starting, and then it'll fire up like this one. Now that this thing's running, I'm gonna go drive it around, get it all up to temperature, come back, do a leak down on it. And what might help this thing run a little better is I got all these spark plugs. If you see, there's like a gap under the boots. So they are actually locked on there. I've got all of them locked down nice and tight. Can't pull them off. Oh, yeah. So we gotta do a little VTEC playing too. This I can actually probably rob off of one of our engines laying over here, that pressure switch, and put it in. We're gonna hook this up. It goes like so. And see if maybe that gives us a better crossover, because we might be having a crossover issue trying to get into VTEC and it might not be accepting it. I did block the intake, so take yourself, get this thing running, get a piece of cardboard or something and cover that intake, and if the car dies, you have no vacuum leaks on the intake side. If it stays running, start searching them down. But that's gonna be that for now. I gotta go drive this thing. When we come back, we'll do a leak down and show you guys what we get. Alright, y'all, so took it for the test drive as I had said. I'm gonna do a leak down on it, so I pulled the valve cover so I can check my timing here. And our belt's got definitely a bunch of grime buildup on it. That's kind of weird. Another thing that kind of strikes me uneasy is that our belt's smooth on this side here, but we're actually walked out quite a bit on this side. You can kind of see the difference on those two there. Kind of hard to tell. You can see it here that this belt's walking out, and it's definitely in here. I don't know what that's all about. We do have our timing mark set, so I'm gonna crank this thing around a few times, get it set on top dead center, cylinder 1, and kind of go from there and just see, make sure timing's on for 1, and then 2, do a leak down and make sure everything's good there. So I'll catch you guys after the good old leak down on this thing. Alright y'all, so I just did a cylinder leak down on this thing, and the numbers are not great by no means. So if we look here, I don't know how well you guys can see that, huge leak down on number 3, huge leak down on number 2, huge leak down on number 1, and the only one that didn't is number 4 cylinder. That one is holding good. And I did make sure that I did these on valve size closed. So the way I did that was set my timing here. If you see, it's 180 out, upside down right now, so that would be this stroke up with the valves closed, both exhaust and intake. If I spin it again, so on and so forth, you can just make sure that your compression strokes are up and valves are open and closed. So with that being said, compression test was down 10 pounds in 1 and 2 cylinder. Now leak down shows lots of leak down on cylinder 1, 2, and 3. We got a lot going on here that just isn't showing great signs. We've got leakages, we've got leaks all over. Timing is set and tight, so that is a bonus. I think we need to dive into this motor and really see what we got going on. Start out with the head gasket and just kind of go on from there. Once we get this head tore down, we can kind of see if we've got valve seals that are bad, so on and so forth. But with that compression being real close, I think we just need to get a new gasket on here and see what this thing will do. I'm going to contact the customer, clean up a few things, and go from there on this one. So I will let you guys know what the customer says. Alright y'all, so we just had our customer come down here, take a look at his car, and we are going to be doing a minor build on this one. We're going to be doing a little bit of head work. We're going to start off with a head gasket, get a new valve cover gasket, change out spark plug wires, go through a bunch of stuff on this, put some new cam seals, and then I personally believe that the valves might not have been lapped to this head, and if that's the case, then that would cause some of our leak down there. These are oversized valves and springs and all that good stuff, so we really just need to get this head off and see what we got going on with it. We got that new coil on there and did get this thing running, but it's not running quite right. I know the TPS might need adjusted, a few other little things, but we're gonna go ahead, get a whole bunch of parts on order for this thing, and once they come in, we'll dive right back into this and get this one knocked out and get this racer back on the road. As far as the EG over there, I've been playing with a couple little things. That one's a whole different build, so we'll dive into that. This Integra is going to actually be its own video just because we are diving so far into it. I don't want to put it with Doug's, so we will give Brian his own video. So this is Brian's Integra here, and that's Doug's hatch. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying thus far. We took this thing for a good little ripper, found a bunch of problems, and we are going to fix them now. So, like I said, parts come in, we'll pick you guys back up. Got the headphones on, that only means one thing, y'all. It's time to dive into this engine. I did confirm TPS was off, just a smidge, 04. We like 05 on closed, and like 2.5, 4.5 open, 4.5 open, 2.5? One of the two open, but I do know it's 0.05 closed. Let me see here. I'm being at a loss for words. 4.5 open, that's what I thought. So 05 closed, 4.5 open. We got that adjusted. These wires are pretty frayed on this TPS. It just comes with these old cars, you know, nothing new by no means. But you guys can kind of see there, a little tore up on those edges, so that's something to put into consideration when you are doing these, that those are good. So I may try to find some clips and clean that up. If I can't, I can't. If I can, great. Other than that, let's dive into this thing, pull this head, see what we're working with, drain the fluids. You guys know the whole works, pull it all apart. The fun stuff. Then we're gonna clean everything, head gasket, put it all back together, adjust valves, make sure this thing is ripping good and healthy, and wait for the new ECU to come in, and once it's in, take it to Ethan, get it tuned. This guy is gonna be super happy with it. So let's dive in. All right, real quick, we're in the middle of this thing here, and I just want to show you guys, I'm getting ready to drop exhaust, and this is what we're working with. That is just a big ol' no-no in my books. Sure, the exhaust is sealed and all, but that's not right. That's exhaust gas, or exhaust gasket all kind of blowing out, and I mean, it's time to clean all this up. So I'm gonna get the exhaust off this thing first, right off the bat, and then kind of go from there. We gotta get this O2 sensor out and drop the exhaust. I don't have to do anything else on the bottom end of this. All the axles, everything else can kind of stay in it. But that's kind of where we're at. I just wanted to show you guys that before I got really dove into this thing. We're seeing all sorts of little things on it that just need some real clean addressing. Anyways, back into this time lapse. y'all, I can't make this stuff up. Pulling the exhaust off this, and well, what do you see? Good old copper gasket. I'm telling you, that stuff's no good. You guys can have your own opinion. Some people like to use it, but in my opinion, if you're using it, that means you're worried that it ain't gonna seal. You're worried it's gonna leak. You're just worried. So that's a precaution you take to make sure your stuff isn't leaking. But if you build it right and you make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be, you don't need that stuff. It's all over the block. Real hard to see, but it's all over it. Nothing wrong with it, but not my forte. I don't care for it. You guys can actually see all the oil that's just leaking out of this thing. So that's something to fix. We're gonna go through here. We're gonna fix this thing all up, get it tip-toppity shape. Now that the exhaust is off, and show you guys this one. Much better. It's just a big old, I don't know. Not something I would do. Definitely not something I would do. But that's them, not us. We're on to the next. If you guys got to get by, sure, do something like that. But if you're doing it for your race car, please don't do it. Anyways, let's dive back into our time lapse and get this engine out. All right, y'all, I'm gonna eat some lunch real quick. It's about that time, I suppose. And keep cracking on this thing. We've got most everything unplugged. We've got our coolant lines undone. Pretty much ready to come off. I've got everything loose here, as you guys can see. It's going pretty good. The one thing I did just notice is took this fuel line off and we only got one crush washer on there. There should be two, one before and one after. So we need to add another one there, so we'll put that on the list to make sure we get two new ones. We're not even gonna reuse this old one here because it's pretty stuck on there. I can't even, it's pretty crusty. This fuel that's in here looks really gross also, but hey, not my deal. We'll replace the fuel filter also on this thing. Yeah, that thing's like stuck. But we'll replace this filter. We might get into the tank, pull that pump, check that sock, get a new one on it, and continue on. But anyways, this head is about ready to come out as soon as I get done eating. Alright, y'all, I can't make this stuff up. Here I am trying to take this IAC off, and I'm looking for the second bolt for it, and sure enough, it's only got one. I kid you not. You guys will see it in the time lapse. I take this one out, bam. There's probably where our coolant's been going. Found that issue. On to the next. I'm telling you, I'm not making this stuff up, guys. I'm not trying to bash on nobody. I will not bash on nobody because everybody builds things. I forget things. It happens. But we've been trying to figure out where coolant's been going on this car. Out at the track. This is my first time really diving into the car. And these are the things I'm finding. So that's another thing we found. Back to getting this head off. Alright, y'all, so we're in the midst of this. We just pulled this head gasket off, and you can see kind of where like the rings are being chewed up in a sense. And then I really got to looking at this thing, and these cylinder walls are not looking the greatest. Can you guys see that scoring there on those? They do have cross hatchings, so I'm not sure if the scoring is old. Here, let's take a look. Look at that there. Real bad scoring. Then what we're noticing is metal shavings. They're kind of hard. Let me find some. You can kind of see them sitting on top of that piston right over in that corner there, and then over in that corner there. There's some metal shavings. Here's a good one here, right there. Nice little chunk of, looks like brass or copper or something. I don't know. But I'll point these out to you guys so you can really focus in on them. We've got right here, this right there. Those little shavings are everywhere in here. Here's another one right there. Oop, I don't want to lose them. Here's another one right here. That one's in the cylinder wall itself. They're all over. Down here. Not good, not good. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do here. I definitely need to get a hold of the owner and kind of let him know what I see. I'm gonna turn a piston down and see what I can see there. The other thing that kind of catches my eye, or really catches my eye, those look like where some valves have touched. Oh, there we go. See those rings? We're on the verge there, guys. This one's there. It's kind of a shadowed out here too. Not really liking the looks of that. This one a little bit down here. You got a little bit right in there. But other than that, they're looking good. So that's not good. I haven't looked at the head yet, really. So I'm gonna tip this thing up and let's see what we can see on that thing. And can't really judge a book by its cover. I do have a suspicion that the valves need lapped. That's just kind of one of my suspicions. I could be completely wrong. But let's take a look in here. They're all looking like they're burning pretty equal overall. No signs of really touching. This cylinder right here, which would be cylinder 2, it's not looking the greatest. That one there's pretty good. That one's not bad. These 3 here are a little worse off than that one, just by looking at the valves. They kind of look like they could be seating, but at the same time, all that extra exhaust and stuff in here is kind of making me question. I mean, they should be pretty clean. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass here, but hell if I know. Anyways, we're going to clean all this up. We're going to pull valves out of this thing and lap them. And kind of go from there. We're just really gonna clean this all up and make sure it's as good as I can get it, and make sure the head's straight, surface it, put it all back in the car, try it again. Look at that chunker I just pulled out of there. That is a big old chunk of metal. So I've got the pan dropped, obviously, trying to figure out what's all going on in this thing. Is that metal or is that? That's metal.
No.
Yeah.
No, my God.
Did you just hear it?
Yeah.
That's metal, people. That is metal. Hear that? Let me do it one more time for you guys. That's metal. That is a chunk of metal. Can't make it up. That one's not.
That's hard to do.
But all that right there, oh, that's where something scored it. That's where something scored the pan.
It still is like the thing is glittery gold.
Yeah, glittery, super glittery. Yeah, but that's not good. That looks like a chunk of a piston ring, actually, if you had to ask me. I'd almost bet that's a piece of a piston ring. That's definitely a piston ring. Yep. I'm not no professional, but I bet you I pull them pistons out of this and I find a broken piston ring. Ready? We're gonna bet on it. I bet piston rings are broken in this thing. That would explain this.
The wobble.
Yep. That death wobble on those pistons. Unless that's an old ring from when they changed them and somehow the ring fell down into the pan, which...
Shame on them.
Shame on them for that, but I don't see how. The pan would have had to come off, the engine would have had to come out, the pistons would have had to been dropped, piston rings would have been taken off the pistons, and then that would have been separate from the pan being on, because you can't drop the piston with the pan on. It's impossible. Pan has to be off in order to do end cap bolts. So I'm not really sure. This is one of those where time to call the customer down, because I can confirm that I found something more than good stuff. So I'll let you guys know what I find out after the customer comes down. All right, we're back in the garage. we took a couple days off for Christmas, the holidays, family came down, all that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays. I know we have. We're back on Brian's car here. I'm getting ready to pull this engine out of it. That's kind of where we left off. We found the bad news. But good news is we've got the new engine over here, sitting right here. This is a B18C1 GSR. Good running engine, has like 105, 110,000 miles on it. Real good engine, got it from a reliable source. We know it runs. So we're gonna finish pulling this one out, get that one in here, get a few things from this engine, put on that engine, and get this thing running, get him ready to hit the track. So let's dive in, get this engine pulled, and get that new one in there, guys. All right, y'all, so I was actually just draining fluid. Look at all the metal in that fluid. Holy cow. I just had to stop real quick because I couldn't believe it. But yeah, that's all coming out of this trans. Pretty sure that's where it's coming from because that pan was clean. So that's what we're working with on this thing. We'll see what the plug looks like, but ooh, I wish I would have caught all that. Let's see what it looks like on my finger here. Oh yeah, it is nasty, nasty. Wow, not good. Yo, look at that plug. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna actually save that for the customer and not wipe it until he gets here because I really want him to see that. That is crazy. Not good, not good. All right, so that's what we're working with. Getting the trans drained so I can boop, 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 boop. You know, all the fun stuff, drop it. All right, y'all, I wish I was recording, but anyways, I just took this. I was working on this. I got the car lowered down. Both axles are out, as you guys seen me working on those. This is the transmission fluid out of that thing. Yeah, not good, not good. It's pretty bad. Anyways, we've been running into all sorts of little things, and look at this. Trying to pull this hose off, and look how much everything moves. The bolt's probably missing out of the bottom of this water jacket. So that's another spot coolant was probably leaving. Trying to stay still. There you guys go. Yep. So, just another thing. Anyways, gonna continue getting this thing out, getting that one in. All right, y'all, as you see, the engine's out. We got it over there. That went pretty easy, you know, the good old drop it out the bottom. The head was already off, so I just disconnected axles and stuff, found a few little things. So now we're going to take our good engine, get the transmission that's on it off, get this clutch, put on that engine, get this transmission we have down here, put on there, and get this thing back in here and get it ripping. So it does look like the driver's side mounts the same, so that's nice. Well, I guess it's not. Same but not, so we'll change that. Might do his belt, might not. I might just have him save all that stuff for the next time, because this is all good that's on here. I think Lyle actually did it when he bought it from me. So we got that to do, and put it in. Oh, it's slow going, let me tell you. I got some wiring to fix on the car, and yeah, just trying to get back in the groove after Christmas here and get this thing done. So let's switch these engines around and get that one back in here. All right, y'all, and just like that, we've got the GSR transmission put onto it. So this is a straight GSR. It's a B18C1 with a B18C1 transmission. I think this might actually, nope, not numbers matching, but that is a GSR trans, that's a GSR engine, and I am getting ready to put that in this car. Once I get it in, we'll get it running. I gotta change the oil pan out, put his baffled pan on it, and a few small things. Other than that, this thing's ready to drop in and get with it. So let's see how long it takes to get this engine in here. Yo, for it being December, it is still hot out here. It's still real warm out. So, engine is in, just on 2 motor mounts here. This one I gotta find some bolts for. They took the studs out and used some bolts on that other one, but I'm just gonna put some nuts on that. But the engine is sitting in there. I got a lot of little stuff to do now. A lot of little stuff. But that's all gonna come with it. We're gonna throw his starter on and just really start putting this thing all together the way it should be. Get shift linkages in. Rear motor mount, intake, coolant hoses, radiator, y'all know the deal. Just get this whole thing put together and get it ready to rock and roll. So let's dive back into that and see how far we get. All right, y'all, would you look at that? We got a Honda out of here. So Brian just came down, stopped by with some more parts. I'm still waiting for a few parts. We're actually waiting to get an intake in. He just brought me a bunch of gaskets. I just wanted to give you guys a little update. The engine is in, fully in now. Axles are in, both sides. Car is down on the ground, moving. Shift linkages are hooked up. Transmission's all there. We've got the Dizzy on. Like I said, we're waiting for an intake. We were going to use this guy here, but it's not H2 compliant. So in order for this thing to be in the rule books, we're going to get that Skunk 2 intake put on it. So we're waiting for that to come in. After that, tomorrow I got to do a few little things on this. Pull the valve cover, change out that timing belt, change out the harmonic balancer. A few little things there. But that's going to be it for today. I'm kind of wrapping up the evening here, getting ready to come in tomorrow. I got to go pick up some parts. But that's where we're at today. It was a pretty good day. We got that old engine out, got this new one in, and that's that. We actually ended up with a good deal, but I'm going to show that to you guys later on. Keep you guys just waiting on that. But anyways, we're going to put this thing back together, bunch of new parts, and I will catch you guys in the morning. All right, y'all, so I have just been flying through this thing. We got it all put back together here. We've done a couple test bumps, but this is gonna be our first test fire right here. Donovan's gonna go ahead and give it the beans and see what happens.
Ready?
Yep. Okay. Try again. Okay. Try again. Okay. Let me do a little adjustment on this distributor here. I'm gonna adjust the dizzy and then we're gonna try to fire this thing up again. Take 2, all right? I got vacuum leaks here and there, little things, and I have got to just check it over. I'm just making sure this thing runs. I just put it in here. We're good. So I'm going to test a few things and get back with you guys when she's ripping. All right, y'all, we're sitting down here in the shop, and I forgot to finish out Brian's car. I truly did. We were working on it at Donovan's house there, and we got busy moving into the shop. It's getting pretty well set up. And I forgot to close out Brian's video. So we got the car running, got all the little things taken care of, got it down to the dyno with Ethan today. It made like 207 horsepower. We detuned it down to like 175, 180, somewhere in there. The class requires 175 horsepower and 2,400 pounds or something like that. So he should be right in that area with the car. It's running really good. We got that engine put in it. Sent him home with his old engine. So real happy with it. I will try to throw in one little clip from the dyno today because I did take one. But that's gonna be it for Brian's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know the ending kind of stinks because I forgot to finish it. But I got a couple clips I'll throw in there for the ending for you guys and let you guys see what it made on the dyno. So hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed making it. I'm real excited to be down here in the shop now. We've got the wife down here with me. I'm just trying to finish out the day. So on that note, y'all have a wonderful day and we will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.